Welcome to Real Estate Talk Boston. I'm Steve Vazza, your host today. I'm here with Corey Bialow from Bialow Real Estate. Corey, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about what you do over at Bialow Real Estate.
Sure. Our company specializes in representing retail chains with their expansion plans. We predominantly work with national retailers, and we handle all the functions of a traditional real estate department on an outsourced basis. We actually work nationally. We have built a network of over 50 to 60 different local offices in every major MSA, and we handle real estate throughout the entire country and Canada.
You do. So let me ask you, there's a lot of talk out there right now about, where the retail sector is headed. We see a lot of the traditional bricks and sticks being challenged by the likes of Amazon and the rest. But then again, I have some retail properties and I have the traditional space where, it can't necessarily be outsourced, but where do you see the retail market going? And what are some of your clients, thinking right now?
Sure. Well, we're going through quite a transition. If you read the media, the news these days, you'll see that everyone thinks that Amazon is killing every retailer, and it's really not the case. What's happening is we're seeing just a transformation. There's really been a transition within retail. We're seeing at the same time a lot of the online retailers becoming omni-channel. They're opening showrooms. You've seen it with the Warby Parkers and Bonobos and Indocinos of the world.
And it's working fabulously.
It's great because the retail environment is more of a customer acquisition tool than necessarily a sales tool. If they could get the customer in the door to learn the product, see who they are, understand the brand, then they'll purchase online and remain as a customer. We're also seeing a tremendous change within the food category. The traditional casual dining restaurant of old, the Fridays of the world that we knew growing up with, it has really changed and evolved. Everyone's looking towards quick casual concepts. We're seeing definitely a move towards healthier concepts. We represent a chain here called By Chloe. To give you an example, we just did a few deals with them in the Seaport, Fenway. We just signed a deal on Boylston Street. They're a vegan restaurant, and they've done.
I've seen them, by the way.
Yeah,
it's a fabulous concept.
Right, and ironically, I never call myself a vegan. I'm a meat and potatoes guy, but love eating lunch there.
Sure,
and
thank
you. Yeah. And it's a great experience, and that's where we're seeing a big change. We're also seeing a lot more service-oriented businesses that obviously you can't replicate online. More of the retail space is going towards, for instance, we represent Partners Urgent Care. Sure. It's a walk-in urgent clinic. They're taking up a lot of traditional retail space. You're seeing the fitness studios, the yoga studios. We just saw a new meditation concept that's rolling out nationally, and these are things that obviously can't be replicated.
There's some incredible things going on in the fitness industry. I mean, some of these facilities nowadays are just off the charts. What people are looking for in the new the new age.
Yes, absolutely. And with all this new retail, there's definitely a shift in development as well. We're seeing predominantly on both coasts. When I say both coasts, in terms of looking at a national level, we're seeing really a shift back towards the city. You're seeing the empty nesters want to live back in the cities, give up the big suburban homes. You're seeing the millennials, graduating, all want to live, work, and play in the city. And because of that, the big power center of old, the traditional suburban center, you're not seeing a lot of those developed. You're not seeing many regional malls being developed. The shift is really towards mixed-use projects where you could live, work, and shop within the same environment. And the Seaport here in Boston is a perfect example of what's happened.
Before earlier today, we were talking with Grant Cardone, and we were talking about the very thing that you just described, which is this move back into the inner cities. There are millennials. We were talking about many of the reasons. You've got young people right now. They've got a lot of them have student debt. They're getting married later. They're having kids later. They want to travel. They're putting off the traditional big purchases. So we see all of these inner cities. I mean, I grew up in Boston, okay? 15, 20 years or so ago. I mean, just take the Seaport itself, right? I mean, they used to park cars out there, okay? I mean, now it's a city unto itself. And around all of that multifamily, as you said, there's that retail, there's that whole live, work, play, new Generation X. I think it's fantastic. I think it's an exciting time.
Yeah, it's been great, and you know, another sector that's really taken off is the entertainment type uses. You know, there's a lot of new concepts out there. We're working with a company called Bowlmore, actually owned by it was the old AMF company, the traditional old bowling alley that you probably knew from the 50s or 60s. And they've developed a tremendous new concept where it's more family friendly, where they have a restaurant inside and they have arcades inside. You're also seeing, you know, the Dave and Buster's of the world, the Top Golfs. You know, landlords are trying to do what they can to create more of an interactive environment.
See, I love that he's bringing this up, by the way. I'm going to chime in here if you don't mind, Steve. I'm going to jump in on your interview. So I used to produce a talk radio show. We were talking about Boston. Is Boston fun once? And I'm just a lowly producer, but I went on our radio and I said Boston blank. I said a bad word, all right? And I got a ton of texts about it because I don't think Boston is that fun. There's not enough kings of the world, ideas like that out there. You sound like you're bringing one to Boston right now. Are there any other concepts? We were talking Top Golf before, but like that would make Boston more fun to me.
Absolutely.
Ideas like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where landlords are going. They're all looking to create. I mean, you've seen it just in the movie theater environment. You know, you see how different all the movie theaters are now going to the luxury stadium seating where you can eat dinner in the theater. And this is all, again, an attempt to just keep people longer in the shopping centers and replace the tired old concepts.
Well, I think it's giving people an experience.
It is. And let me ask you, Corey, things are changing so fast in all parts of the industry. How do you keep up with all this new fast-moving technology and change?
Well, it's a great question. I mean, we pride ourselves in, you know, I obviously do a lot of traveling. Our whole team is constantly traveling the country. And we pride ourselves on constantly going into markets and walking the malls, walking the centers, seeing all the new concepts, being in touch with our clients and what's making them tick. You know, a lot of retailers, when you look at the Sears of the world and the JCPenney's and the Toys R Us, all you hear are the negative stories about these retailers blowing up. And it's really not a surprise. If you had walked into a Toys R Us or a Sears 10 years ago, you would have been able to predict where it was going. Exactly. And, you know, so what we do is, you know, we'll constantly go in and look at the new concepts and see who's successful, who's doing what. You know, I'll give you an example. I mean, we've worked with a company called The Vitamin Shop. We've been doing their work for almost 20 years, done over 750 stores nationally. And it's a company that, you know, was forced to evolve. They were a company that was being hurt by the online business. And they reacted very quickly. They developed a brand new prototype store. They put in things like a kombucha bar. They have more service in the store to provide people who really understand health and wellness, and created more of that interactive, experiential environment that retailers really need to do to adapt. You know, and they're doing great with this new concept. And you know, there's a great example of how a retailer that everyone thought was, you know, basically going to go the way of Amazon, they've just reinvented themselves, and it's pretty exciting to see them starting to turn around.
Exciting stuff. So let me ask you, Corey, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they do it?
Sure. The easiest way, our website is bialow.com. It's BIALOW.com. All our contact information is there, and you know, that's the best place to reach us.